Good morning, guys. Happy or afternoon, whichever one you're watching this video. Happy Monday. I hope this video finds you well. It's Miss Plan jumping on to go over Monday's lesson. So we won't waste any time. We'll just jump right in and get started. Please be reminded that you are doing this for attendance purposes. If you're watching this video and you do not get a chance to do your seesaw work for today, to please let Miss Plan know with an emoji, a message, a dojo, a happy face, something so that your attendance can be marked. Remember our virtual rules as well. They have not changed since our year began. They're a little different for our video friends. You know, Miss Blaine's biggest wish is that you find a nice quiet spot, not beside brother while he's playing Fortnite or Roblox, and not beside mom or dad while they're watching your favorite TV show. But find a place where you can complete your work and then go back to those fun things. Ms. Vester is with us this morning to share a quick video story, and it's one of Miss Blaine's favorite books. So I'm excited for you guys to hear it. So let's see what Miss Vester has.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back again for our second step SEL book. This week, our remaining rules are do your job and be a learner. Part of these rules are being responsible. Being responsible helps make our school a place where everyone can learn. When we're responsible, we can be trusted to do the right thing. We help others. We clean up our messes. We admit when we make mistakes or do the wrong thing. We focus on our schoolwork. This week, think about how you can be responsible and do the right thing in class, in Zoom, in the lunchroom, and when we're in the classroom. Our book for this week is Teamwork Isn't My Thing and I Don't Like to Share. Think about teamwork. Part of doing your job and being a learner is sometimes working with other people. And so how can we be responsible, be a learner, and do our job? My name is RJ. People say that I need to be more of a team player and learn how to share. The truth is, I already am a team player. I play on a soccer team, and we have at least 2 games a week. As far as sharing goes, it's just not my favorite thing to do. My teacher wants everyone in our class to work as a team. She says that team stands for together, everyone achieves more. Actually, I think it stands for together, everybody acts mean. Does it look like RJ has a good attitude or a bad attitude? Ooh, I think a bad attitude too. Let's see. A few days ago, she broke us up into teams of 4 and assigned each group a project. My team's project was to do research on mummies, make a poster, and give a presentation to our class. I got stuck with a bossy Bernice who thinks she knows everything, Frankie, the new kid who still scribbles, and Norma. She picks her nose, and then she eats it. We made a plan to use toilet paper to wrap one of us up like a mummy. Everyone wanted to be the mummy, even me. Bernice yelled at us because nobody would do what she said. Frankie cried when we wouldn't let him make the poster. And Norma picked her nose the whole time. And then she called the rest of us names. Oh, my friends, when we pick our nose and eat it, there's so many germs, and we don't want to do that. I don't want to be on a team, I said to my teacher. I just want to work by myself. RJ, she said, when you work well with others, you can get so much more done. Besides, you need to learn to share responsibilities. I don't like to share either, I thought to myself. Yesterday, when I got home from school, I headed straight for the cookie jar. The jar only had 1 cookie in it. I grabbed the cookie and was about to take a bite when I heard my mom say, RJ, please share that last cookie with your sister. Bring break it in half. I broke the cookie, but not in half. My half was bigger. RJ, since you got to break the cookie, you should let Blanche choose the half she wants. Uh-oh. So RJ broke the cookie thinking he could have the big piece, but Blanche gets to choose first. Yeah, if I broke the cookie, RJ, I would give you first choice. And I would have left you with the small piece. Be happy that's the one you ended up with. RJ, my mom said, that's not how sharing works. My mom made me give Blanche part of my half. She ended up getting more cookie than I did. That night, after soccer practice, I told my coach about my terrible week. I hate to be in a group and work as a team. The kids get all mad and act really mean. I'd rather just do the work by myself. I really don't feel like I need any help. And then I get home, and my mom tells me to share the last cookie because the cookie jar's bare. She gets all mad because I don't do it right, and I end up with half that has 3 less bites. RJ, my coach said, your teacher's right. Together, everyone does achieve more. Look at Coach's things to do. Whenever you need to work as a team, figure out what it is that you need to complete. Have each person say what they're willing to do. Then each does their job until you're all through. RJ, could you be on this soccer team all by yourself and win any games? No, that'd be impossible, I said. Well, your school project is just like a soccer game, and the kids in your group are just like your teammates. Each person on this team has skills. For example, Sam is one of the best goalies in the league, but could he play forward? No, I said. He's as slow as a snail. Well, no one can be good at everything, but everyone is good at something. The best part about working together is that each person can use his strengths to help the team. RJ, you're a great team member on the soccer field. Now do the same thing in your classroom. With everyone helping, you'll finish faster, and each of you won't have to work as hard. As far as sharing is concerned, you'll find that your life will be much better if you share. People who are good at sharing end up being happier than those who don't. But when you share, others will want to share with you. When you see something that needs to be shared, let others go first. You need to be fair. Be kind and be patient, then ask for a turn. When you're finished, give it back. Sharing's easy to learn. RJ, you're great at sharing the ball on the field with your teammates. Now, do the same thing off the field. Besides, not only can you share the good stuff, you can also share the work, like when you have to do a class project about mummies. As I walked home from soccer practice, I thought about everything my coach had told me. What he said really did make sense. The next morning at breakfast, I poured myself a bowl of T-Rex Tasties and emptied the box. Hey, said Blanche, I want some of those too. I felt like saying, no, I had them first. But instead, I poured part of them into her bowl. My pour wasn't even, and she ended up getting more than me. She gave me her bowl and said, thanks for sharing, RJ. Here, you can have the big one. Teamwork. Today at school, when my group worked on the mummy project, I told them what my coach had said about teamwork. We all decided to start over. Everybody picked a job that they could do well. Bernice made a list of what all of us were doing, and we let her be the supervisor. She gave each of us a topic to research. We all collected information and then shared what we had learned with the group. I wrote out the poster lightly in pencil, and Frankie traced over my letters in marker so that he didn't scribble. We decided to let Norma be the mummy. Maybe if we wrap her entire body up in tissue, she'll figure out how to blow her nose with it. Sometimes I still like to do work by myself, but working with others can bring lots of help. When we all work together, we get so much done. And not only that, we have a whole lot more fun. My friends, sharing's not easy. Sometimes it's hard, but it makes me a better friend and will help me go far. Sharing with others will show them I care. My life's gotten better now that I share. Oh, such a good book about teamwork and responsibility and sharing. Remember our school rules. Be safe, be kind, do your job, and be a learner. Put all of those together can make our school a great, happy place to learn. I'm so glad you joined today to read our next book. I will see you next time with another new story. Goodbye.
All right. Thank you, Miss Vester. Let's get rocking and rolling, my friends. So today, let's talk a little bit about fluency. We are going to start doing a little fluency work daily. And fluency, of course, is our accuracy, how we read words correctly, the to read not too fast, not too slow. Expression is how we read with feelings. We don't sound like we are oh, sorry guys. We are reading to a row. And of course, punctuation. If we see commas, we take breaths and pauses. It's being that fluent reader. We want to read like we talk. That's really huge. So inside your packet on the second page, right behind your cover sheet, you should see a page that looks like this. Every day we will say these words and read these phrases. And then the next page, you will see that on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we have a story that we will read, and you will also read it to Miss Bland and Seesaw on Friday. So let's look at our words. I'll say the word, repeat after me. Over, new, sound, take, taken, only, little, work, worked, no, place, years, live, me, back, give, given, most. Take a moment to repeat those words again by yourself. Great job. Now, for our phrases. Phrases are not sentences, they're parts of sentences. So, worked in the store, in back of the store, only a little place, a new owner, that sound, I will work. Those are phrases. That's the first row. Practice reading just the first row today. Great job, guys. All right. We're also going to work in your packet today about talking about our word ladder. We want to be able to manipulate the word cow every time we read a clue and figure out what the next word would be. So let's try it. I'm going to read the clues. You try to find the word. Ready? So we start with the word cow, and it says a small bed that can be folded and put away. We're changing the last letter. So my C is going to stay. Let's make this a little bit bigger. My C is going to stay. My O is going to stay. And I'm changing the last letter. What would I call that thing we sleep on? See if you can think. Did you say a cot? If you did, you're so correct. It is a cot. Let's do the next one. A pan used for cooking. Mom makes soup in a big blank. Change the first letter. That means my O is going to remain, and so is my T. And tell me my word. You're exactly right. It's a pot. Very good. The next one, an animal that lives with a person. We're going to change the vowel. So the P is going to remain, and so is the T. What would go in the middle? People, animals that live with people. You're right. It is a pet. A deep hole in the ground. A deep hole in the ground. We're changing the vowel. So my first letter is going to remain. My second letter is going to remain. And my letter in the middle would be, anybody know, anybody know, anybody know? It's a pit. Did you put pit? Very good. And the farm animal with a snout and a curly tail. Oh, we're going to change the last letter. So my P remains. So does my I. What is that curly tail animal? It's one of Miss Bland's favorites. It's pig. So we were able to take the word cow and turn it into pig as we climbed our word ladder. We will be doing these as quick brain muscle reviews every day. Now, then we're going to look at our ladder. And we're going to look at these words: fling, throw, hurl, toss, and pitch. Each of these words means something that we do with a ball. We toss a ball means to throw it, but not too hard. When we throw a ball, we put something into the air. When we fling it, we kind of throw it real wild. When we pitch it, we throw it and it's usually hard and we aim for something. And when we hurl it, we throw it really hard with great force. So we're going to look at our words. The boys and girls this morning helped me out, and we put the words in order from the one that we felt was the hardest if it hits you to the one we thought would be the lightest or the easiest, the least amount of pain if it hits you. And then we compared tossing and pitching. We said if I toss something to you, I just kind of throw it at you and you go, ooh, and you catch it. But if I throw it and I turn around and I pitch it like a baseball, you better have a glove or you better move so that it doesn't hit you. So we talked about that a pitch is hard and a toss is not. Pause here to get this information down. All right, for Letterland, we have 2 new sounds this week in Unit 22. They are A, U, and AW. We have 12 amazing new words for this week. August, because, crawl, fault, gnaw, saw, thaw, author, awful, straw, caught, draw. Repeat after me. August, because, crawl, fault, gnaw, saw, thaw, author, awful, straw, caught, draw. Very good. We're going to use these words this week as we are practicing our spelling, as we practice being able to use them in sentences. Some of them you're very familiar with. August, a baby could crawl. It smells awful. I know how to draw. We drink from a straw. I did it because I was tired. We don't talk as much about the word fault. Some of you say, it's not my fault when you get in trouble. But we don't talk about the word fault quite as much. Gnaw, the dog will gnaw on the bone. That is not a misspelling. That G needs to be there, and it will need to be there Friday on your spelling test. So be sure you're careful with those. All right, this week we have the same vocabulary words for Unit 4, Week 3 that we had last week. Those words have not changed. We are using the words common and costume, customs and favorite, parades and surrounded, travels and wonder. And we know that our story is realistic fiction. It is a made up story with made up characters, but it could be real. We're going to meet two little boys in our story today. They are fiction, they are made up characters, but these two little boys could be real. And the things that they do are real things, real places, real activities. So this is definitely realistic fiction. Our essential question is, how are kids around the world different? All right, guys, in your packet, you have a paper that looks like this. Turn to that page, because as we go through the story, I'm going to pause it and we're going to answer your questions. So you need to be on that page. Should look like mine. Should look like this page.
Today's Read Aloud is titled Dear Primo, a letter to my cousin.
All right, so look like mine. Should look like mine. Top of the page says Dear Primo, Wonders Unit 4, Week 3. You should be there. All right, keep up, because we're going to pause in some places and talk about some things, but you need to be there so you can get them.
Tomatin. Score! I just got a letter from my primo, my cousin Carlitos. I live in America, but he lives in Mexico, where my family is from. Maybe someday we'll meet.
All right, let's stop there. Look at my first question. It says two main characters. We're going to meet two characters. On this page, we met the first one, Carlitos. So go ahead and put Carlitos as one of our main characters. Carlitos is one of our first main characters. The next one says, what is a primo? First sentence, I just got a letter from my primo, comma, my cousin. A primo is a cousin. My next question says, one cousin lives in blank and the other lives in blank. One cousin lives in, and one cousin lives in. Make sure you get that down.
Dear Primo Charlie.
Oh, so now Carlitos is writing a letter to his cousin. Now we have our other main character's name. What is it? Charlie. So our two main characters are Charlie and Carlitos. Make sure you have them.
How are you? Do you wonder, like me, what life is like far away? I live on a farm, surrounded by mountains and trees. My family grows many things, such as maize. We have a burro, pollos, and a gallo. Every morning the gallo crows and crows.
So we meet Carlitos first. So the first box says, tell me about where each boy lives. In that box, tell me something about the place that Carlitos lives. He lives on a what? Write it inside your box. Where does he live? Where does Carlitos live? In that first box, it says 338, 339. Tell about where each boy lives. Where does he live?
Dear Primo Carlitos, I live in a city. From my window, I can see a bridge and cars zooming by. I can see skyscrapers too. Skyscrapers are buildings so tall they tickle the clouds. At night, all the lights from the city look like the stars from the sky.
All right, so where does Charlie live? Same line, box that says Charlie. Where does Charlie live? First sentence, I live in a blank. He's got skyscrapers, tall buildings, big bridges. Write in your answer.
Every morning, I ride my bicicleta to school. I ride it past the perros and past the nopal. I ride the subway to school. The subway is like a long metal snake, and it travels through tunnels underground.
All right, next box on 340 and 341. How do they get to school? Look at the top of the page. How does Carlitos get to school? Write in your answer. Bottom of the page. How does Charlie get to school? Write in your answer. All right.
At recess time, I play football. My friend passes me the ball. I kick it with my foot, and if I score, I yell, "Goal!" I play basketball. My friend dribbles the ball and passes it to me. I jump and shoot. The ball goes swoosh. Nothing but net.
All right. Tell me about the two games. Oops. Sorry, guys. Tell me about the two games. My finger didn't move fast as I thought. Tell me about the two games for recess. What did Carlitos play for recess? Look up at the top. Make sure you don't spell it the way we spell it. That's football. Don't want to see two O's. And what did Charlie and his friends play at recess? Fill in both boxes. We're on the third box. You should be on the one that says recess.
When I come home from school, I help my mom cook. My favorite meal is quesadillas. I make them with cheese and tortillas. In America, we have lots of different foods. My favorite is pizza. I like getting a slice on my way home from school.
All right, tell me about the boys' after school snack. What did Carlitos eat after school? Write it in the box. And what did Charlie eat after school? Write it in the box. All right. Turn your page. There's more boxes.
After I finish my homework, my mom let me go outside and play. In Mexico, we have many games like trompos and canicas. My favorite game is papalotes. My friends and I run and run, and with a little wind, we fly the papalote high up.
All right. List the three games the box says on page 346 and 347. What are fun after school games they play? Tell me the three games that Carlitos likes to play after school. All right, let's read the next page and see what Charlie's games are.
When I finish my homework, I play games with my friends from the building. We play by the stoop and in each other's apartments too. I like going over to my friend's home to play video games.
Oops, so sorry, my finger is not pausing me. It paused that page. All right, tell me the three games that Charlie liked to play with his friends. I bet some of those things you like to play too.
Video games. In the afternoon, it often gets hot. To cool off, I jump in a small rio that is nearby. In the summer, the city gets hot too. I like getting splashed by the fire hydrant when the firefighters open it up and close off the block. On the weekend, I go with my parents.
Sorry. All right. So 348 and 349, how do they beat the summer heat? Look at the picture. It looks like Carlitos is jumping in a Rio. What would we call a Rio? Probably a pond or a lake, water hole. And then Charlie is in the city and they do something called opening up the hydrants. And what that is, that's a regular fire hydrant and the firefighters come out when it's really, really hot and they open them up and the water goes everywhere. But because it's so hot, it feels so good. So tell me about how they beat the summer heat. Complete boxes.
On the weekend, I go with my parents to the mercado, an open-air market in the town nearby. We sell maíz and tunas, a prickly fruit that we grow. On the weekend, I go with my mom to the supermarket. She brings a list, milk, toothpaste, soap, and I check out the items as we put them in our cart.
All right, so the question says, what happens on the weekend? Tell me what Carlitos does on the weekend, where he goes, where he's at, and then tell me what Charlie does on the weekend. When we did this morning in Zoom, we talked about the differences in the markets. That might help some of you.
In the town from time to time, they have fiestas that last 2 or 3 days. At night, there are cohetes that light up the sky and mariachis that play and play. In my city, sometimes we have parades. People in costumes and uniforms march down the street and everyone gathers around to watch. There are charros in Mexico that I wish you could see. They do tricks with their caballos and reatas. On the streets here, you can see breakdancers who do flips and spin on their heads.
All right, we need an activity. There's 2 different pages. We need an activity that Carlitos sees in Mexico. We got options. We could talk about the bull riders or the tricks, or we could talk about the mariachi band and the fireworks, your choice. Then you need an activity for Charlie. You can talk about the parades and the bands, or you can talk about the break dances. Anybody know how to break dance? I don't know how to spin on my head. Miss Blaine can't mess up her hair. I can't spin on my head, but that's really cool if they can do that.
And reatas. On the streets.
All right. So next page talks about the holidays.
We have so many traditions, such as the Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead. My favorite tradition is attending the December parties called posadas. At the end of each posada, there is a piñata filled with fruit. When someone breaks it, we all get to jump in.
All right, write down one of the 2 holidays that is talked about for Charlie in the box under holidays they celebrate. They gave you 2 options.
In America, we have traditions too, such as Thanksgiving, when we eat turkey, and Halloween, when we dress up and go trick-or-treating. But I have to stop writing now. My mom just told me I have to brush my teeth and go to bed.
All right, list one of the holidays that Charlie told his cousin Carlitos about from America.
I have an idea. My primo should come visit me. My primo should come visit me.
So, what great idea do they have? Write it down at the very bottom. What was the great idea that Charlie and Carlitos both had? Very good, guys. Okay, you have answered all of Miss Bland's questions. I'm super proud of you. But here's the trick. Let's look and see how well you did. So here's the first side. These are the answers we came up with this morning in Zoom when we checked our answers. Check to see if your answers are very similar. Make any changes you feel you need to. Pause here if you need time to change something. And the back side, here's what we wrote. Remember, there are other options. For instance, for the holidays, you could have put Halloween and the holiday with the piñata. Some of them have multiple answers. These are just the ones your friends and I did this morning. Awesome job. Pause here if you need more time to make corrections. If you need a break, you may take it here. Otherwise, Ms. Blaine is going to keep on trucking. Similes. Similes are a comparison of two things. They use like or as to compare them. The tree is as tall as a skyscraper. The tree is not really a skyscraper, but the tree is definitely very tall. It is as hot as the sun outside. The sun has not become a person and put on a pair of blue jeans and changed its shape. It is still hot, but we know that it's not just regular hot. It's super hot because we know the sun is super hot. Unable to be touched. We can't sit on it. It's hot. So obviously it's hot. Compares two things using like as or as if. She is as slow as a snail. You didn't turn into a snail. It just means whatever you were doing it very, very, very slowly. And the dog smelled like an old gym sock. You're not wearing your dog on your feet. It just means that your dog kind of stinks. All right, in this box, we had some directions. And so you are going to create an alien from the planet Simile. He's an alien. He has arrived. A creature from planet Simile has just landed on Earth. Draw a picture of the creature based upon the description below. All right, here we go. It says his body is as thin as a pencil. My body's pretty thin. His head is as big as a watermelon. His eyes as red as fire. His nose as purple as a plum. His teeth as green as grass. His skin as yellow as the sun. Fingers as pointy as icicles. And his feet as square as boxes. And this is what Ms. Bland came up with. But guess what? I do not want you to copy mine. I want to see what you come up with. I want to see your original work. I want to see what you can create. So I want you to create for me a simile alien. Pause here to complete it now or complete it on the end. Make sure you color it. For math today, math this week is great review. We've been talking about that we review so we won't forget, and that's exactly what we're going to do this week. We're going to review so that we don't forget. So the first page, you are going to review modeling with place value. So we're back to lesson 17, which was last week. And we talked about using place value to then show our number in standard form. That is what you will do to complete the first page. No extra. Make sure if it's ones or tens on this side, you do tell me. If they're hundreds, write out the word hundred. On this page, there will be no cutting. I'll know who didn't watch my video or didn't come to Zoom if they cut. There is no cutting. You are to match them, write it in the box, and then you are to mark it out. No cutting. For Black History today, we are talking about Mr. Garrett Morgan. You are going to write 3 sentences about Mr. Morgan. Garrett Morgan was an African-American inventor who invented 2 different important things, the gas mask and the traffic signal. Morgan was born on March the 4th, 1877 in Paris, Kentucky. His parents were former slaves. As a child, he attended school and also worked on the family farm. When he was 18, he moved to Cleveland and found work repairing sewing machines and making clothes. He was also in Cleveland that he met the woman he would marry, Madge Nelson. They were married in 1896. He would see a need for something and go about trying to find something that filled that need. If that something didn't exist, he would make it himself. One thing that Morgan noticed early in the 20th century was that people who fought fires and had other reasons to go into tunnels filled with smoke and fumes, had no means of protecting themselves from breathing all that bad air. So he invented what would eventually become the gas mask. In 1920, the automobile was a relatively recent invention and was by no means the only method of transportation used by Americans. Many people still rode in horse-drawn carriages or rode bicycles or walked in the streets. People driving cars went much faster, of course, and accidents were commonplace, which means they happened a lot. Seeing this, Morgan decided to do something about it. He invented what would become the traffic light. He died in 1963 after a long and successful life. His two outstanding inventions live on. You are going to use this text to write 3 sentences about Mr. Morgan. Let's watch a quick video.
Ashley Home Store's biggest President's Day sale ever is going on now. Right now, get no interest financing for 6 years. Or save up to 30% on select styles. Click the link and save today. Ashley Home Store. This is home.
The Wise Channel celebrates African Americans who did amazing things.
Have you ever been stuck in traffic? Yes, it's terrible and boring. Well, in the early 1900s, traffic was a little different and very dangerous. Roads were filled with cars, horses, wagons, and people walking and riding bicycles. Cars crashed into bicycles and people ran into horses. People ran into horses? Dude, it was a different time. Now that's a thing I didn't know. After seeing a bad accident, a man named Garrett Morgan invented a traffic signal telling travelers when to stop, go, and slow down. You mean like a traffic light? Yes, it was the first modern traffic signal and led to the traffic lights we have today. Did you know Garrett Morgan also invented a gas mask? Yes, I did. Did you know Garrett Morgan's parents were born slaves and he only had a 6th grade education? Yeah, so it's like that? You know I keep up on my Black history. Yeah, boy. The next time you see a stoplight, think about Garrett Morgan. And the next time you see a problem, remember you could use your mind to fix it. Just like Garrett Morgan.
Let's talk. What would it be like sharing the road with walkers, bikers, horses, buggies, and cars?
What do you think it would be like to share a road with all those things at the same time? You think it'd be real easy for us to get around in Wilson or Bailey or Zebulon or Middlesex if we had a horse and buggy on one side and a car in this lane and people walking and people on bicycles and no traffic lights? So everybody just went, ah! How do you think that would work?
What's the worst part about running into a horse?
What do you think the worst part about running into a horse would be? Hurting the horse. Oh, that's Miss Bland's biggest fear. I love horses.
What is one big problem that needs fixing?
Their traffic was a huge, huge, huge issue. And Garrett A. Morgan sought to fix that issue. All right. So be sure that you write your 3 sentences about Mr. Morgan and his inventions. Today is President's Day. And so this week, we will be focusing on our presidents. We'll be talking about different presidents all week. We'll be using our Patriots and Presidents paper. It should be at the very back of your packet. We will talk about some presidents you know, like George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson. And then we may talk about some you don't know as well, like James Madison and Ulysses S. Grant. So there'll be a week of presidents. So today is actually President's Day, but we will visit with presidents and patriots all week. Your packages look like this. We will work on it all day, every day this week. And then there's work on the back that you will complete on Friday. Questions. If you have questions, please know you can send Ms. Bland a dojo, a text message, or an email, and I'll respond to you just as quickly as I possibly can. When you're finished, remember, I know you want to be done, but I got to make sure you do some things. Finish your packet pages for today. Make sure you complete your seesaw for today. And make sure, I think today your daily special, Bailey special, is art. Make sure you complete that as well. And of course, if you have extra time, there are tons and tons and tons of amazing epic books that you can check out. All right. I love you, my darlings. I hope you have a great afternoon. This adorable puppy wants to tell you bye. I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day. If there is something that Miss Bland can do for you or your family, please let me know and we will try to get it done for you as quickly and as easily as possible. If there is anything else, if there isn't anything else, we will be Zooming in the morning at 8:30. You are welcome to join us with the link that is on the front of your packet. Well, the information is on the front of your packet. Or your videos, which we'll of course post on our webpage every day by noon. Have a great afternoon. Be amazing. Stay safe and see you